Every business needs to be focused on financial management. Every business is about money rotation. So how do you define the job profile of a CA and a CFO?
CA is where, as entrepreneurs, we are used to seeing at a CA from a compliances point of view. A CFO actually maintains the financial discipline for an organization.
So talking about decisions, I think every CFO can give you a split up. Every single penny in the organization directly eats the profit of the organization. What are these?
A CFO can give you a microscopic view of what needs to be changed and what's going wrong where. A lot of products might have great demand, great spike in demand during Diwali.
As a business owner, you may get tempted to do something. So the CFO is the person who puts you back in track. CFO fights with the entrepreneur that this money needs to be protected for the business. This role is also, I think, very important for the entrepreneur.
Financial discipline is a critical element. An entrepreneur acts and reacts out of impulsive decisions or emotional decision making.
Every business is a financial business. This is what people say. Every business needs to be focused on financial management. Every business is about money rotation, and we have 2-3 different people who handle the business and the finance part of the business. One is the CA, chartered accountant, one is the accountant in-house, and then is the CFO. What are the difference of these 3 different people? What are their job roles? What is the value that they add, into the business? That is what we'll do. So how do you define the job profile of a CA and a CFO?
So CA is where, as entrepreneurs, we are used to seeing at a CA from a compliances point of view, right? Like, for example, filing your income tax returns, addressing the queries of the departments, making sure that everything is filed on time, stuff like that. Whereas a CFO is he plays a more integrated role. A CFO actually maintains the financial discipline for an organization. A CFO actually manages the cash flow in the right way. So he can get your finances restructured. Like, for example, you are having a bank loan, an overdraft facility or a term loan. He will get the rate of interest negotiated. He might negotiate for a better deal. He might take more bigger size of a loan for the same collateral. So he does all the smart negotiations with all the financial institutions so that the business can benefit out of his actions. In fact, I would like to say that a chartered accountant and a accountant in the office, both are cost centers. Whereas a CFO can become a revenue center because money saved is money earned. And the CFO can be very instrumental in saving that money for you and your organization. So that is basically the major difference that I see from my perspective, from my point of view. There are a lot of chartered accountants who also play the role of a CFO for organizations. But if you have a specific person in the team who is a CFO, he will definitely take care of cost calculations, cost of your product, profitability percentages, inventory management, vendor management in terms of cost calculations. He can identify loopholes if there are any financial leakages in the system. So he actually manages the treasury of the organization. He can also suggest you tax planning strategies. Your chartered accountant also does that, but he can also put forward that suggestions which, in concurrence with a chartered accountant, can get implemented. So a CFO is actually a financial monitoring agency within your organization. It helps you to take better decisions.
So talking about decisions, I think every CFO can give you a split up of every single penny in the organization, and it could be your vertical wise P&L, it could be your product wise P&L, it could be all the leakages that happen. Many times people have vendors who are there for years and they are happy with that vendor because he's giving a good quality and timely delivery. But what about the restructuring of the cost or the negotiation of the cost? That doesn't happen. Suppose we have a bank loan, we have a bank CC or we are a bank OD. Somebody needs to go and audit that, from the inside. So finance planning or finance leakage planning directly eats the profit of the organization, right? So I think what are other areas where the CFO can add value? Like it could be negotiation or the value engineering. What are these things?
So like for example, inventory management. Lot of product manufacturers, they do not have demand all 365 days a year. No product has demand all 365 days a year. Very rarely you might have a demand for all 365 days a year. But there are a lot of seasonal products where your inventory management goes for a toss. As an entrepreneur, you will be having focus on multiple functionalities of the business. It might be HR, sales and marketing, branding, customer coordination, customer negotiation, finance management, multiple aspects. But a CFO can give you a microscopic view of what needs to be changed and what's going wrong where. Like for example, in inventory management, he can help you to plan your inventory in such a way that it operates as per the season of the year, on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and seasonally basis. Like for example, a lot of products might have great demand, great spike in demand during Diwali. So he can help you to plan temporary manpower, temporary production facilities, temporary additional support mechanisms, better negotiated raw materials for inputs, because your purchase volume and value changes. So he can all do this very minutely. For example, the current scenario, because of the international countries in war, there is a problem for power, energy, that is gas and fuel. For gas, the problem has started becoming visible. So a lot of people are now switching over to induction based cooking, like for example, electric appliances. Like one of my business is restaurants. So in restaurants, the food is always better cooked or better taste. That is what I know of. That is what people talk about. If it is cooked on gas, right? But I know of a brand who does 100% of the cooking on a electric device. Okay. So for him, nothing changes. But for all other restaurants who are only dependent on gas cooking, it's a problem. It's a serious problem. So now there is a purchasing that is happening for electric based equipments. The cooking will happen on those electric appliances. Now if you go to see, re-engineering of the menu is also happening because of the dishes which are very much adjustable to electric equipment cooking, right? Or induction cooking, you might be calling it, whatever. So the stock is not there in the market. The equipments are all sold out. If you go on any platform, there is no equipment available, because even for home use, people have started booking those electric appliances for cooking.
Correct.
And the products are not available. So any smart entrepreneur, what he is going to do, he is not going to expand the capacity of production. He is going to see how he can spike up the temporary demand. How can he spike up the production for this temporary demand and make a killing out of the current scenario? So that is how an entrepreneur will do. So a CFO can help him to do all these aspects thoroughly well. You need to put a lot of engines in place before you get onto the enhanced production requirement. For that, your raw material management, your manpower management, your infrastructure management, for all of these aspects, your CFO can become a very instrumental part of the team on making that possible, on making that happen. So this can be very interestingly done. Now, cost calculation is also very important. Like for example, one of my businesses is restaurants. In restaurants, the most important aspect of any restaurant is kitchen management for the ingredients, on how you can save on cost, how you can negotiate on cost, and how you can see and monitor whether there is a leakage or not. There are thumb rules, and to follow those thumb rules, there has to be somebody monitoring those thumb rules. So like for example, what is the food cost of a restaurant? Depending on the type and the cuisine of the restaurant, you fix a thumb rule of what can be your food cost. Now, whether that food cost percentages are maintained as per discipline or not is what your CFO will tell you time and again. So this is very interestingly to be done, and this is important to be done.
Correct.
My other input would be from my restaurant business experiences. In my restaurants business, we have got multiple restaurants in multiple cities of the country called Sante Spa Cuisine. We have not hired a CFO in-house. We have hired a chartered accountancy firm which plays the role of a CFO. And trust me, it is such a relief working with a CFO. Okay. So this firm, where we have outsourced the activity, gives us monthly profit and loss account and red flags in the areas where there are leakages or where the expenditure has gone beyond the budgeted amounts. So he also gives reports to us on the basis of which we are able to make better decisions. Like what percentage is the rent, what percentage is the manpower cost, what percentage is the food cost, what percentage we are spending for advertising and marketing. So when we have all this data in place, we are able to take better decisions. Many a time, the online platforms, aggregator platforms, are not very ethical in maintaining the accounting standards. And that time, this CFO firm of ours helps us to coordinate with them, communicate with them, instruct them, chase them, bring it on records, write emails to them, and make sure that the pending amounts are recovered on time. Unnecessary debits are not happening. So we have to be alert and aware about all these aspects. That as an entrepreneur, we cannot do because we have got too many other roles to play.
Correct.
But the CFO or the organization which we have hired as a CFO is micromanaging this aspect for us in business, and that's a big relief. And he is actually a revenue center for us because he's saving our cost by taking all the right decisions, by helping us to take all the right decisions due to the micromanagement that he's doing on the expenses that we are incurring.
Great. So rightly said, every business has...
By the way, he also tells us which dishes are selling more, which dishes are more profitable, where the ingredients can be bought at a better cost from, where the vendor can give us just in time so that we don't have to keep our investments wasted. Even if it is for a matter of 2 or 3 or 4 days, it can happen just in time. So he helps us to implement all such kind of policies in our restaurant business.
Correct. So rightly said, you have mentioned it that, every business has different thumb rules of finances that the CFO takes care. But also what he takes care is controlling the entrepreneur also sometimes, because as a business owner, we don't have anybody to, audit us actually. So the profit can be diverted to something else, or as a business owner, you may get tempted to do something. So the CFO is the person who puts you back in track, and he says, this is our contingency fund, this is our risk management fund, or this is our treasury. And that kind of audit, I have seen happening where a CFO fights with the entrepreneur that this money needs to be protected for the business. So this role is also, I think, very important for the entrepreneur, that somebody takes care of his money other than him also. So what do you say after that?
Absolutely. And let me tell you, financial discipline is a critical element. An entrepreneur acts and reacts out of impulsive decisions or emotional decision making. So that makes a lot of difference. So there, the CFO plays a very critical role. Now, your chartered accountant is focusing only on the compliances and the shortfalls, and if there are any queries, then satisfying the tax authorities and stuff like that. Whereas the CFO is monitoring your day-to-day operations, your day-to-day activities, and those kind of inputs can help. So controlling the emotional decisions or haphazard decisions of the entrepreneur is done by the CFO very, very effectively. He puts his foot down saying that this will be detrimental for the business. And then the entrepreneur realizes, I should not do this. Like you might be overspending in marketing and advertising or in branding, or you might be overspending in some other aspects. Or if there is a misuse of power bills in your factory or in your outlets, in restaurants, and suddenly you bring it to your notice that your electricity consumption is jumping by 20% or 30%. Why? Because of misuse of air conditioning. Nobody is there in the office, but it's on. So those are the reasons why your jump is there in the power consumption. Now, these are all minor aspects, but at the end of the day, it adds to your profitability. Money saved adds to your profitability. And this is what is the core role of a CFO, which he does effectively. An effective CFO will do that. So many years back, when we were operating St. Angelo's Computers Limited, my chartered accountant suggested me that why don't we start a loan facility for our students. And after that, I started a loan facility for my students where for a 3-month course, my student used to get a loan which has to be repaid over a period of 2 years. So more parents could enroll their students for courses, because even a 3,500 rupees fees for a 3-month course was a lot of money in 1995. So with the Cooperative Credit Society, we started the facility of giving educational loan to our students. The advantage was I got the money upfront, lump sum, that was 3,500 for the course, 3 months course, whereas the student got a installment facility of 175 rupees to be paid over a period of 2 years. So 24 months installment, 175 rupees is the installment. I, as an entrepreneur for that education business, I got 3,500 rupees together. So it's a win-win-win. The bank got a customer, the student got a loan facility, and I got an upfront payment. So it helped me to take better decisions. At the same time, because of this facility, I also started getting more number of students. And in 1995, other than us, there was nobody who was giving a bank facility for a period of 2 years. At the most, other institutes used to give installments to the tenure of the course. So 3 installments if it is a 3 months course, 6 installments if it is a 6 months course. But nobody was giving a 2 years course or a 3 years or 2 years loan facility or a 3 years repayment facility. So that changed the complete cash flow management for me. And that was an input of a finance expert, which I implemented. So information in the right direction at the right time can do a lot of good to your business model.
So I have heard a lot of entrepreneurs saying that, our on paper profit is this much, but in reality, we don't see the profit in hand, and where does it go? Nobody understands. So these days, a CFO can calculate actually, like suppose you have an office of 1,000 square feet. So per square feet, expense of the real estate, that also can be calculated. Like for this kind of turnover, this kind of team, do you really need this kind of real estate with this kind of cost of the real estate? To that extent, it can go. Another thing is the financial analysis of every product can be done, and that can be done as a group profit for negotiations. Like this is the product I get more margin, this is the product I get less margin, so I can manipulate that, and this is something we can definitely do. So these are the things an entrepreneur knows, but he does not have the time to do all those things. So this is where the CFO comes in, and what are the things we should tell the CFO? So we can't become the CFO, but what are the things we should ask the CFO as a dashboard? That I think we should discuss.
Cost analysis, most important. Your receivables and your recoverables, because you will be surprised. Lots of people forget to collect payment from the customer.
I know. Correct.
Lots of people commit that mistake and that blunder because there is nobody monitoring.
Yeah.
Your accountants in the office, gap from their end
or
might be a business loss.
EMDs in tenders.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nobody recovers.
Nobody recovers. It's forgotten. So the CFO needs to monitor money movement in the organization. That's one. When I talk about money movement, means the expenditure that the organization does and the revenues that the organization gets. The organization gets revenues in multiple formats. It might be advance payment. It might be on delivery payment. It might be post delivery payment. It might be installment payment. Whatever is the type of the revenue, that needs to be monitored and audited well by the CFO. Your chartered accountant will do his audit, but that is on the macro level, not on the micro level. For the micro level, a CFO is more helpful than a chartered accountant's firm, which is going to file your returns.
Correct.
So those are the dashboard activities that he needs to do. Secondly, you should also get your CFO involved in the cost analysis of the product that you are manufacturing or the service that you are providing. Many a times we go absolutely wrong in the pricing itself. Like for example, if I'm manufacturing this cup, I might be selling it at say 500 rupees because the competition is selling at 600 rupees.
Correct.
But that is not the right way to calculate.
Yes.
If your cost at home is 525 rupees and if you're selling it at 500 rupees without understanding the financial logic, everything needs to be calculated, including your time, your rent, your loan, your interest payment, your salaries, your advertising, marketing. Everything has to be accounted for. Just because I've priced this to beat the competition does not mean that I'm going to make profits.
Correct.
So your cost calculation is a very critical part. Sometimes you're overcharging, probably overcharging. That can get regulated to the normal price point with a decent profit margin so that you have more number of customers, your turnover improves, and then your cost of production comes down.
Correct. Correct.
So all these calculations can be professionally done by a CFO, which an entrepreneur is not cut out to do.
Correct.
An entrepreneur is a daring guy. He knows he wants to do this business. He has identified the gap. He has created the right product. But all the other elements, you need to depend on professionals like a CFO.
Correct.
And this is where his role becomes very, very critical. So your cost calculations, your revenue flows, your expenditure calculations, your finance cost, your restructuring the finance. You can have more exposure of loan to a same collateral. That is a negotiation that he can do with the banks or financial institutions. Your inventory management plan for the whole year around. Now, these can be the basic functionalities that you can request your CFO to do. And then the game changes. You're a more informed entrepreneur to take more informed decisions and the right decisions, and more so the best decisions.
I think you own a restaurant, and in restaurant there is a common concept of happy hours. I think that is a financial decision. Happy hour is a financial decision. So a CFO can create that kind of concept, like a happy hour concept in any business actually. That this is our low season, this is our dead stock, this is our fixed cost. How can we come up with solutions? I think this is a fantastic discussion. If you're liking this discussion, please like, share, and subscribe. And what are the financial decisions you are taking, which we also can get benefited? Please comment them in the comment box, and also ask any questions about finance so we can get back to you and try to answer this. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vinith. Actually, I'm sure you are having a CFO or a smart chartered accountant who has assisted your business to give that one anecdote or that one formula which must have game changed your business. I would love if you can share that one anecdote with us so that it can benefit all the other viewers also who have seen this content, and they will be grateful and thankful to you, including us. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
I work with and for Konark Cancer Foundation. It's a foundation which takes care of cancer patients. If you know anyone suffering with cancer, then we at Konark Cancer Foundation can connect the person with the right resources and facilities to ensure that the right time, right treatment reaches the patient. Whether it is connecting the resources or providing resources to the cancer patient, we do it all. It also includes support for accommodation in the city of Mumbai. We are associated and connected and networked with the right resources, the right doctors, and the right hospitals. We can bring all of this on a table to you so that it is convenience for you. Whether it is guidance, whether it is medical support, or whether it is operating procedures, our team facilitates every activity required for the patient and the support required for the family. We also connect you to the right NGOs and donors to ensure that you also get financial support and aid to whatever extent possible to ensure that the treatment happens and the life is saved. If you know of anyone who is suffering with cancer, please connect with us. The details are mentioned in the content below. Konark Cancer Foundation is an NGO. It's a not-for-profit organization, and we have lots of volunteers which support this good deed. So get in touch with us and help us to save lives. You too can be a part of this movement. Konark Cancer Foundation. Thank you so much.